Okay, so I realized that I probably need to speed up at this point because I've got about, if my math is correct, approximately 30 minutes left in my response. So this is going to be really challenging. Whenever I'm comparing and contrasting, I like to create a good old classic Venn diagram. You can't go wrong. So I'm going to do a big circle here and a big circle here and start kind of planning out my response. I apologize. Those are horrible circles. But anyway, over here I've got Thoreau, over here I've got Russell, and we need to talk about, let's start with how they're the same. So I'm going to come and do 1 and 1, and that's going to be, their first paragraphs are very similar to each other. I'm going to maybe think about how they actually relate to society. They both relate to society. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to put this in my paper, but it's something to kind of guide my thought. Now, over here, Thoreau, I know, is an advocate for almost like a hermetism. So he wants to be a loner, right? And then I have the fact that Russell, he is actually advocating for connectedness, right? So those are ways that they are different. I know that Thoreau actually advocates for self-deprecation. While Russell advocates for indulgence, right? That's actually kind of what he says. He wants to be a hedonist. Thoreau, I know, he actually wants to restrict himself, right? And because of that self-deprecation, he's holding himself to a high standard or an ideal of what he thinks life should be like, right? And Russell does not. He holds himself to the only standard that he should be happy. So he basically says, I should be happy. Now, to me, these things all contribute to how these two authors relate to one another. Now, I think I may have done my math a little wrong. I think I might have shorted myself about 20 minutes because I was thinking, for some reason, my first video was 40. So these are all things that I can talk about, but what's going to be critical is this next part, okay? So this next part, I want to give myself a basic outline of what it is that I'm going to be talking about. If I look back at my prompt here, I know that there are 3 things that I need to address: self-discipline, the individual and the community, and the good life. So I want to sacrifice a paragraph because I'm used to writing 5-paragraph essays. I'm going to sacrifice a paragraph. I'm going to do a 4-paragraph essay because I think that, let me explain the idea behind this a little bit. I think that this concept of the good life, I can integrate that through my whole essay, okay? I'm not going to worry about having a specific paragraph on the good life. So I need 2 paragraphs. One's about self-discipline. So first off, I know I have an introduction. I always have an introduction. The second one I'm going to talk about is going to be self-discipline, right? Self-discipline. And I know that the authors have very conflicting views on this. So self-discipline. And then underneath the subheader of self-discipline, I'm going to talk about Thoreau's beliefs, and I'm going to talk about Russell's beliefs. Now notice I'm calling them Thoreau and Russell, not Henry and Bertrand, because I don't know them like that. So I know that after that, I'm going to have a paragraph about, Oh, geez, I've already forgotten. The individual in relationship to the community. So, I apologize for that terrible sound. That's my lanyard. To the community. And again, we organize that. We're going to talk about Thoreau. And we're going to talk about Russell. Okay. Then, I'm simply going to wrap out my essay with a conclusion and be done with it. Now, that's all I'm going to do for planning right now. I take that back. I am going to do one more thing, so bear with me here, guys. I'm going to just find some blank space here. It looks like maybe the top of this essay. Since this is my planning paper, I'm not going to worry about writing in the box. I'm just going to jot this down. And I'm going to use color here to kind of reiterate what you have done in the past. I know that my thesis is the foundation for my essay, so I want to make sure I have a strong thesis. So I'm going to say, in Thoreau and Russell's, is it one L or two L's? This is the kind of thing that's not necessarily the most important, but it could be the difference between a high score and a low score, depending on who my judge is. So in Thoreau and Russell's discussion of the good life, okay? That's my topic, and I wrote that in blue just like you should be seeing in your English classes. In Thoreau and Russell's discussion of the good life, I can't prove in Thoreau and Russell's discussion of the good life. I can't make an argument about that. There's no disagreeing with that. It's just a topic. So in Thoreau and Russell's discussion of the good life, the two men have strikingly, and I'm just going to choose really any adverb, right? Strikingly, or adjective, different views on, and then I'm going to have my two topics. So self-discipline and relation to the community. And I might not take the time to write all this out if I were doing this on my own, but I wanted you to see my thought process there. So I have my topic and I have my claim. In Thoreau and Russell's discussion of the good life, I incorporated the good life. The two men have strikingly different views on self-discipline and relation to the community. Okay? So they do share that whole YOLO aspect, but I'm going to focus on the differences rather than the similarities because I think I can write a faster, stronger essay that way. So that's my planning process. I know that took a good little bit of time, but it's going to be worth it in the end. Watch how quickly I bang out this essay.